Good afternoon, students. I hope you people are safe and sound and you have understood the previous sessions that I've already explained you. If you have any queries that I always say, please feel free to get back to me. Today, I plan to start up with Deep Water, written by William Douglas. So, this chapter is basically about conquering your own fear. Every individual has got some or the other inhibition in life. Every individual has gone through something in his life based on his past experiences that has created fear in his subconscious mind. And I've told you previously also, your mind has two parts, conscious and subconscious. And the fears that we have in our conscious mind, obviously you can deal with it practically. But something that gets into your subconscious mind, it is very, very difficult to remove it. And that can be only done through sheer determination and willpower. If you have the will, if you have the vigor to come out of your own fear, then you can obviously do it. Otherwise, it is very, very difficult. So, this chapter is an excerpt taken from Men in the Mountains, written by William Douglas. And he was an American, he was a jurist and a politician. And this person has wonderfully written and presented that if you have the determination and the will to do anything, then you can conquer any problem, any situation in life. In this chapter, William talks about his own fear of water. He had an aversion towards water and how gradually he conquered his fear. We'll get to see his journey, his tedious journey of getting into water. One is that. Second is, in life, we all have some or the other kind of fear. Like some people have fear of fire, that is phyrophobia. Some people have fear of height, that is acrophobia. So all these type of fears people have, but the strength lies in how you conquer it. At the end of the chapter, he writes it beautifully. All we have to fear is fear itself. So fear basically is a human emotion, an emotion that comes out or carves out of a danger or a fearful situation or a stressful thing, okay, that has some or the other connection from your past or maybe present. So the strength lies in how you try to work on it and conquer your fears. So this has been beautifully done by William O. Douglas, who was a jurist and a politician, and he was born in 1898. He has served as the Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of United States. He was nominated by the President, that is Franklin Roosevelt, and he confirmed at the age of 40 he was the youngest jurist. He graduated from the Columbia Law School and joined the Yale Law School. He was a person who knew the individual rights and he was strong at it. He was a judge in the Supreme Court, obviously. So basically, his foray was being a politician and a judge. But this is what he has written based on his own incidences from the past. So technically, we begin with the Deep Water, written by William Douglas. And today we are going to see about the author, the summary, and the characters. Basically, a brief overview about the text. Let's get a glimpse about the author. William Orwell Douglas is born in October 16, 1898, and he died on January 1980, was an American jurist and politician who served as an Associate Justice in the Supreme Court of US, nominated by President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Douglas was confirmed at the age of 40, one of the youngest justices appointed to the court. He graduated from Columbia Law School in 1925 and joined the Yale Law School faculty. He was a leading advocate of individual rights and he was a judge at the Supreme Court of US. Retired in 1975 with a term lasting 36 years and remains a long-serving justice in the history so far. The glimpse of the background. This story is an excerpt from Men in the Mountains by William O. Douglas. William had innate aquaphobia. Aquaphobia is obviously fear of water, or hydrophobia also people say. This handicap would have mired his entire life had not chosen to confront and defeat it. In his autobiographical account, William details the struggle to learn swimming. The foray into swimming was punctuated by many harrowing incidents, one of which nearly pushed him to the edge of death. However, the never say die spirit of William brought him the triumph against his aquaphobic weakness and made him an accomplished swimmer. The introduction. In this story, William talks about his fear of water and how he finally overcomes it with strong willpower, courage, hard work, and firm determination. Once he took courage, the fear vanished. That shows most of our fear are baseless. Fear creates danger where there is none. The writer's experiences further confirms the proverbial truth, where there's a will, there's a way. The characters. William, of course, he's the narrator of the story. Then the places also are mentioned. YMCA pool, we see Yakima River, and there was a bully. A small instance of William's father is also there in the first paragraph of the story. Rest, the protagonist is William. Please pay attention. Here comes the summary. The story Deep Water tells us how the writer overcame his fear of water and learned swimming with sheer determination and willpower. He had developed a terror of water since childhood. When he was 3 or 4 years old, the writer had gone to California with his father. One day on the beach, the waves knocked the child and he was swept over. The child was terrified, but the father, who knew there was no harm, he kept laughing. The experience bred a permanent fear of water in the child's subconscious mind. Still another incident more serious increased his terror. The writer was trying to learn swimming in the YMCA swimming pool in Yakima. One day, while he was waiting for other boys, a big boy suddenly played a dangerous prank and pushed him into the water. The writer was terribly frightened. He went down 9 feet into the water. When he reached the bottom, he jumped upward with all his strength. He came up, but very slowly. He tried to catch hold of something like a rope, but grasped only at water. He tried to shout, but no sound came out. He went down again. His lungs ached, heart throbbed, and he grew dizzy. He felt paralyzed with fear. All his limbs were paralyzed. Only the movement of his heart told him that he was alive. Again he tried to jump up, but this time his limbs would not move at all. He looked for ropes, ladders, and water wings, but all in vain. Then he went down again the third time. The time all efforts and fear ceased. He was moving towards peaceful death. The writer was in peace. When he came to consciousness, he found himself lying on the side of the pool with the other boys nearby. The terror that he had experienced in the pool never left him. It haunted him for years and years to come. It spoiled many of his expeditions of canoeing, swimming, and fishing. It spoiled his pleasures in Maine lakes, New Hampshire, Deschutes, Columbia, and Bumping Lake, etc. But the writer was determined to conquer his terror. He took help of a swimming instructor to learn swimming. The instructor taught him various actions necessary in swimming part by part. He put his face underwater and exhaled and inhaled, raising it above water. He practiced it for several weeks. He had to kick with his legs a few weeks on the side of the pool. At last, he combined all these actions and made the writer swim. He learned swimming, but the terror continued. So deep goes our childhood experiences, so fearful is the fear of fear. Whenever he was in water, the terror returned. Henceforward, the writer tried to terrorize terror itself. He tried to face the new challenge. When terror came, he confronted it by asking it sarcastically as to what it can really do to him. He plunged into the water as if to defy the fear. Once he took courage, the terror vanished. He faced the challenge deliberately in various places like the warm lake. He conquered it at last. So in this chapter, we have already seen about the author, summary, and the background introduction of it. So I'll just tell you one thing, that these childhood fear that a person has take an inroad into psychology. So it needs to be dealt with very keenly and properly. Otherwise, it somewhere down the line hampers your growth or hampers your development. So William was brave enough to admit that he had an aversion towards water, and there were 2 episodes in the whole chapter. One was when he was thrown into water by his father, and that was, for the sake of fun and for the sake of adventure. His father threw him into water and he came out of it. His father did not realize that this is going to be deep inside, rooted somewhere down the line in his conscious mind or the subconscious mind. Later, when he was growing up, he went to the YMCA pool to learn swimming. But there was a bully who threw him into the water and he was nearing to death as he did not know how to swim. So he was thrown to the deeper side of the pool, which was 9 feet deep. So when he went into water and the struggle that he did to come out of it, the strive and the near to the death experience made him realize how serious this was. He came out of it when he thought that he's already dead, but when he came out, he saw himself near the pool and he decided that he's going to work on this. And with a lot of courage, a lot of determination, he decided that yes, I am going to face this, I am going to work on it. Finally, he got in touch with an instructor and he taught him how to swim. So what I'm trying to tell you is, we all have got some kind of aversion, but only brave hearts have the courage, have the intensity or the power to deal with it. And also, we need to know that it is important to work on such kind of problems, such kind of deep depressions that we have in our mind, or else we will be, barred of so many other adventures. If you are scared of water, if you have this aquaphobia or hydrophobia, then what happens is you will not be able to do any sort of water activities. You will not be able to do canoeing, boating, swimming, etc., which are obviously adventure sport. So it is very, very important to visualize, analyze, and also to deal with your issues. So this was the first session. I hope you have got an overview about the chapter. I'll be back with the next session. Till then, please revise and be thorough with the text. Thank you.